Welcome back to Career Development video series. In this video, we are going to talk about discussion post 3A and 3B. So to find your discussion posts for lesson 3, you'll look in the lesson 3, which is located under lesson 2. You'll click class discussion 3A. And the title for this is Reading and Information Literacy. You can read over this beginning part. It's talking about how books have been turned into films, and these are some examples. You do not need to use these examples. If you read a different book that was turned into a movie, you can use that one. The directions say, taking into consideration the difference between reading a story and watching a story in a film, what main differences can you identify in the questions you had after reading versus watching the film? What do you remember most vividly from each, and why? What key concepts were difficult to understand in each? Discuss the connection between these differences and your own individual learning style you identified through the exercises in Chapter 3. So what is this discussion post asking? Well, the first part is asking you to think about the film and the book and talk about some of the differences. Then talk about some of the parts of the book remember most vividly and parts of the movie vividly, and explain why. Then talk about concepts that were in the book and the movie that you had a little hard time understanding. A good example would be when I watched the Harry Potter movies when they were coming out. I watched the third one before I finished the third book. And I sat in that movie theater thinking, why did that happen and where did he go? And it was very confusing. So I went back and I finished the book, and a lot of my questions had been answered because the books are more detailed than the movies can be. So that's the idea for this discussion post. Then after you've answered the questions, you're going to discuss the connection between those differences and your own learning style. So the learning style that you wrote in discussion post 2A, you're going to incorporate into this discussion post. So again, to create a discussion post, you're going to go to add a new topic. You'll put the title. Again, I recommend just using the same title that's up here. Type it in the subject area. Type your message in the text box. Please do not attach discussion posts. Some of your classmates will not be able to open them, and therefore they won't read it and you won't get any replies back. Once you have created your discussion post, sorry about the box, you can then submit it for your classmates to respond to. My computer is going crazy. Okay, the next discussion post, while I wait for my computer to load, is on bring something new to note-taking. So we're going to go down to discussion post 3B. And what they want you to do, or what I'm looking for you to do, is you can read this little information about note-taking, and then avoid being one of the people that may not take notes, or maybe don't take notes very well. Come up with 2 creative ways to make note-taking more interesting, especially in an online learning environment. What might help? Using a favorite pen, trying a new note-taking system, sitting in a different place. What have you done? Share your tips with your classmates. That way we are all helping each other. I have read for the last couple terms, 4 or 5 terms or more, I've read some really interesting ways to take notes, and that's what we're asking you to do. So come up with different ways that you have found that are interesting to take notes. And again, the same principle applies here, same procedure. Click add a new topic. You will then put the information in the text box. Please do not attach it. And then we want And then I want you to remember that you must post at least to 3 classmates for A, so that's 6 altogether. Your answers need to be 3 to 4 well-written and detailed-oriented sentences. Watch for punctuation and spelling. This concludes the discussion post 3A and 3B video. If you have questions, please get in contact with me through Moodle Message. You can Skype me, Facebook me. You can also call or text me on my cell phone.